you are all well. I thought I'd just do a video on this exercise that I did. I'm a patron of Emma Carlisle, and I can't remember exactly when it was, but there was a video that Emma did where Emma was, I think, going through the sketchbook, and she showed an exercise that she'd done, and it was just a case of a thing that she was just on Zoom or whatever with somebody and was just doodling away with whatever she had on her desk, if I remember that rightly. But she said it turned out to be a really good exercise for discovering textures, palettes, combinations of things that you like, or things that you think actually that hasn't worked and I won't do that again. And I thought it would just be a good exercise to try in this sketchbook. So I've done a few of these now, just using random different things that I've either been using already and I've just had on my desk, or I've specifically sought out a few things that I haven't used enough of and I've forgot about, or I thought, oh, I want to see how that works with something else. So literally I've just covered these 2 pages. This is the Royal Talons Art Creation Sketchbook in A4 size. It's got cream like paper. As you can see, if you put a lot on it, it does come through. You can see on this page here when I've turned over. But basically just covered 2 pages in various mediums and just threw it all together, mixed it, scribbled stuff, did some marks, did some texture. And I found this really good, and I found some combinations of things that I like. I like all of the colours that I've put on here, but I like how some of them have gone together more. And I wanted to use those more and try them out more in actual sketchbook work. So from this 2-page here, I just pulled out some things that I liked together from this. I've done this at the back of my sketchbook, so I'm sort of working one way with various sketches and then working backwards with these little exercises that I've been doing, but I don't mind that. It's what sketchbook's for, just to play around with. So from this 2-page here, I picked out a couple of combinations that I like and I wrote them down. So I like the Diamond Flamingo Pink with the Faber-Castell Green Gold. These, I don't often use these. Let me get them out now. I don't often use these markers enough. So I'm pleased that I did this little exercise and purposely picked these out to try them with other things. So I quite liked how the Faber-Castell Green Gold, which is this one here, just like a yellowy greeny gold. Apologies if you can hear any noise from outside. I say that in every video. I might just put that caveat on the start of my videos. Yeah, so I liked how they went together and how they blended together to, as you can see, this is where it's blended here. And I liked sort of the orangey, still pinky colour that it made. It's quite dark on here because I had quite a lot of ink there. And the Diamond Pink, which is very similar to the Flamingo Pink, to be fair, there's not much in it. So again, if you have one of them, you wouldn't need the other one. I also liked, just move a couple of things, the Diamond Flamingo Pink with the Daniel Smith watercolour stick and Hematite Genuine. Again, I don't really use these. Let me find them. I don't really use these sticks. I bought them. I only bought 2 of them. And I haven't really used them much. So I wanted to try and again see how they would work with other things. So I've got 2 of them here, the Hematite Genuine and Undersea Green. And I do like them, and I will probably look to get different ones of them because you can use it from the stick. You can obviously use it to make texture. This was me drawing into it and making texture, and I like how that looked there, and you can see I've used that there. So I like the texture that that makes. And I also have then mixed together Faber-Castell Green Gold with the Faber-Castell Sanguine and the Daniel Smith watercolour stick in Undersea Green, and that's given a really nice texture and a really nice colour palette. So from that, I've made a note of the little things that I've liked. I've then gone on to do just some sketches using these to see how I could get them to work in like landscapes or anything that was particularly inspiring me. So this is just a quick landscape using the pink, the green gold and that hematite genuine watercolour stick, but then I've also laid some pencils on top as well, and you get quite a textural feel on that. I quite liked how that worked. I think I went on to, no, I didn't do another one in that one. Oh yes, I did do some more in those, but that was my first initial sketch, seeing how I could use those colours. Not as keen on the composition, but I like the textural marks that I'm making, and you can see that it potentially might go somewhere. And then I just did another exercise, just exactly the same, just on one page, and this was using a lot more muted colours. Again, a lot of inks mixed with, I think these were the Inktense pencils, or it could be the Derwent Inktense sticks, one of the other. And it was just to see again if there was anything in there that I liked. So again, I've made notes here. I used the Inktense pencil in gold and yellow with the Sanguine, Faber-Castell Sanguine marker pen, and liking how that's come out there. So that was from like here. The beige red, I think it was the beige red Faber-Castell, and the Sanguine again Faber-Castell, and you get this nice colour. The Celadon Cat, which is a favourite, which is the Diamine ink with the hematite genuine again, and then the Celadon Cat with the red oxide and the carmine pink. So again, I've just made a note of things that I like, the combinations that I like, to see if I could use that. And again, another page, I don't think I wrote down off here what I like, but I do like the muted aspects of this here. And I think that is oil pastel. And I was just blending it in together. But I do like these muted pinks, which I think that's, well, although it's called beige red, it's a bit like a muted potter's pink almost, with the Celadon Cat. And just some textural pieces. I do like this. I absolutely love the Celadon Cat. Any chance that I could use that, I will use it. And then just going on from there, I've done a few sketches using that initial combination that I liked here of the pink with the Faber-Castell green gold, and working in different textures and pencils on top, working the pencils in, making it more textural, and working on and using those colours for a sky, just so we get that bright sunset type feel to it. And I really like, I prefer this one to the one that I did initially, and I could see a way forward with that. And I think I added in on there, so if you got the bright pink ink, I think that's the beige red marker pen, and then the green gold, and then I've used green gold and various bits here. So it's just trying to work out a way forward using these, and I really like the combination and just experimenting with these new colour palettes. Again, another sketch here. Not necessarily as keen on this one. I do prefer this one out of the three that I've shown you so far, but this was just, again, I tell you what I like about this one. I like this here in the background, so it's that hazy hill in the distance, so it's pushing it right back as if it's like either got a bit of snow on it or it's hazy, and it's that like you can't, it's very pale in the background with your foreground quite sharper. So I really like that bit there. As you can see, I do like this sketchbook, but if you work a lot of wet onto here, and I've noticed particularly with these marker pens on this paper, it doesn't necessarily peel up, but it leaves this, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it leaves these funny like marks on the paper when you put a lot of water on it. So that's the only thing I would say to be aware of with this paper. But I do like this sketchbook. They don't do that in the, say, something like the Pith, because that's completely different paper. So yeah, there's elements of this that I like and elements that, you know, are room for improvement, but it's all about just experimenting with the textures that I found and with the colours palettes. And then we'll move past these. These are just some sketches. That was a favourite from my favourites. And then I did do another one of these exercises just recently, and I did film it and I was talking about it, but I didn't like how it turned out. And so I decided to just re-talk through this, showing all of the bits that I've done, rather than showing this that I've done here, if that made any sense. Anyway, so I did this recently, and I used some of the Posca pens, which are like acrylic markers, and I like the resistance that you could get with the Posca pen, and the ink. Molitor markers, which again are the like acrylic markers, and then I used my big acrylic markers. I've only got 2 of them, which are the Liquitex. I don't use these enough, and something that I've decided with them is I really am not keen on this parchment colour, which you can't really see much of it because I think I've covered it over, but I'm not as keen on this parchment colour. I do prefer the unbleached titanium colour, but I don't really like them in my work, or I just can't figure out how to use them in my work. I'm struggling with them, but that's okay. Sometimes you struggle with these things. I may find my way through to using them, or I may just be like, I just can't see a way through these. I do prefer, but these are a smaller nib, the Posca pens, and what I think I want to do is get a slightly larger nib in the Posca pen in beige, because I think I prefer this beige colour to the unbleached titanium colour in the Liquitex marker. So I'll do a comparison now. To show you, this is shaking a lot. So side by side, so you can see what I mean, that is the unbleached titanium. Now with this nib, as you can see, you get like lots of almost like streakiness when you're applying it, whereas I think with the larger Posca, well, this is the smaller nib Posca, and it's more creamy. The beige is more creamy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like the unbleached titanium colour, but I think I prefer this beige colour. So I was wanting to get like a larger nib in this Posca. And I think the Posca pens, although they're quite thin nibbed, but they seem to be nicer to work over the top of than the Liquitex. The Liquitex is very shiny and the Posca pen doesn't seem to be as shiny. So I'll show you what I mean when I say that I don't like this parchment colour as well. And just shake it up. I mean, it might have uses. It's not like I'm going to throw it out. I just can't seem to figure out what I want to do with them in my work. As you can see, it's like quite a grey-green colour, but it's not a very nice colour for me anyway. It might be useful for something else. I've seen a couple of artists, illustrators, use it for life drawing sessions that they do with mainly Draw Brighton. life drawing is something that I would like to try and do some sessions with. I haven't done life drawing since I was in college, and it's something that I would like to try doing again, but it's finding the time to do it. So it might come in handy for that. So it's not like I'm going to get rid of it, but I'm not as keen on it, basically, than that. So this was the last exercise that I did. It's just covered. Again, it was a double page spread. Do like the resist. This, I discovered that I like this and Caran d'Ache Neo Colour 2 in Sahara Yellow. It's really nice over the top of things. I mean, Neo Colour 2, you can't really, once you've put that down, you can't really work on top of it with other things, but it's nice on top of various, it's quite nice on the blue there. I really like this yellow, and that is what is over that. And I think I then wet it, in short. Yeah, I think I then wet the Neo Colour 2, because obviously the Neo Colour 2 is wash soluble. Just nearly knocked my paint water over. So yeah, that's the last exercise that I did. Discovered a few more things that I like. I didn't, again, put down what I liked, which I probably should have done. But I then went on to do some sketches. This one here, I showed a little clip of this at the start, because that was going to be in the initial video that I shot. And yeah, there's bits of this I like, and there's a lot I don't like about it. I think if I could crop it from here, so if I could put a piece of paper over the top and just have that, I think that kind of works. I think there's too much dark blue going on, and I think the blue is too dark and it's all got a little bit muddy. But I liked the trees that was using the watercolour stick. I like the texture that I've got there, and this colour under here, and this was a sketch ink. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a sketch ink, and then I've worked on the top of it. And I like how the sketch ink made this like as if there's like trees in the background and blended out, and I like how it mixed in with the sky. So if I could crop that, I don't think that's as bad. I'm just not keen on that bit there. And again, there's elements that I'm not keen on, but I think with things like this and even sketches, you're always learning. You're always learning what you like and what you don't like. And if there's things that you don't like, there's always a learning point for like, well, I don't like that for this reason, or I shouldn't have done it that way, I could try it this way. Or even if you don't like it, you think, well, I might try and use that again, maybe in a different colour, and it might turn out right, because it might just be the colour palette that you've used. So I always find, even if I don't like something, unless it's completely terrible, it's rare now that I will rip stuff out. I used to go through stages of ripping stuff out, but it's rare now that I will, unless it's completely terrible. So that was that one. As you can see, that's gone fully through. Well, not fully through, but it does come through the page, so you've got to be wary of that. And that's because I chucked a lot of wet medium onto it. So after that one, I did this one, and I prefer this one. I prefer the sky. I like how the sanguine worked with the blue Faber-Castell, and I seemed to get it a bit more, so it wasn't as dark, so because I didn't put as much down on the page. And I like how this is used for the trees and the texture running through, and I use the sketch ink as well, so I prefer this. It's quite a little bit muddy here, but I prefer the sky and this front bit here, so I prefer this one to the one before. Moved on, not keen on the sheep on this whatsoever. Wish I hadn't added them on. However, again, I love the sky. I love this here, this bit here. I really, really like that. And then again, the trees and just the texture. and how to move that forward. I'm really happy with that texture. And then I love this one, this an Ecoline watercolour ink. Is it water? I think classed as ink. The Ecoline watercolour, not the markers, but the refill that you can put in. So it's like, I think it's the dye ink in this purple shade, and just added it on the top. And I love the sky again. So this could be like a winter scene, perhaps. It's got that cool feeling to it, but it's as in like cool air feel to it, but it's got the lovely sunset going on. Just looks like a crisp morning on the moors, and I'm really quite happy with that. And lots of layering going on there, so I'm really happy. So you can see the progression of using these colour combinations. Well, I can see the progression of using these colour combinations. Yeah, so what I think I will do now is I'm going to do a little bit of sketching, so I'll just leave this running and I'll speed it up. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the content of my channel, and I will leave you with this sketch, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.